Hi, this is Mark from Brownworks, and today I wanted to show you a little bit about a project that we're just finishing up. We're designing some grips for this fine pistol here. And at first look, it may look like a 1911. It is in a 1911 style, but the interesting thing about this firearm is it actually is chambered in .357 Magnum. Here's a .357 Magnum cartridge compared to a 45 ACP, which most 1911s are chambered in 45 ACP. You can now find 1911s chambered in a lot of different cartridges, anywhere from the 45 ACP to 40 Smith & Wesson, 10 millimeter, 9 millimeter, 380 auto, but it's very rare to find something chambered, a semi-automatic pistol chambered in a .357 Magnum, which has a different cartridge design. Differences in these cartridges are the 45 ACP and most all of the semi-automatic cartridges. The rim, they all have a rim, but the rims are flush with the casing. So the rims, you do have a little indent, but here's the rim, and cartridges would stack up inside the magazine, nicely on top of each other, nice and flat. Cartridges like the .357 Magnum were initially designed for things like revolvers, where you don't have that type of magazine feed. So there's a challenge with feeding in the magazine, since these rims extend past the cartridge. So if you put these in a regular magazine, these little rims are going to stack up on top of each other, and eventually is going to cause you a curve in the magazine. So one of the interesting things in designing this semi-automatic pistol is the feeding of the magazine. So it actually came up with a way where the follower in a regular magazine would travel up and down pretty evenly. They had to design this magazine so the follower would actually start to have would change its angle the more cartridges you loaded into your magazine to offset how the cartridges sit, so that feeding your cartridge next into the chamber would be nice and flat when it goes and gets picked up and pushed into the chamber. So some interesting design features in designing a pistol to use basically a revolver type of cartridge. Very challenging. So back to the history of this particular pistol. This is a Coonan 357. It was designed by Dan Coonan, and I believe it was some type of either college course or some type of class, drafting class he was taking, and he was trying to come up with something interesting to draft. So I think he took this one as a challenge to draft a semi-automatic pistol to be chambered in a revolver type of cartridge. So that was back in 1977. I think he was convinced to say, okay, let's, to put this into production. So it actually didn't really go into production until 1983. And he sold the company in 1994. And I guess the new owners, they went bankrupt in 1998. The company was then reformed in 2009, and it lasted for 10 years until it totally went out of business in 2019. So I believe there was roughly a little less than 10,000 of these things produced in its history. So it's a pretty rare pistol. These I just checked on Gunbroker. I think they go anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 if you can find one. So if you had one of these, it's going to be pretty valuable right now. The original models was a Model A, then they had a Model B, and then I believe this is like a Model C, or a classic version of it. I think they also have a compact version of this as well. This particular example has a compensator. Doesn't always come with a compensator. Most of the features are very basic and very they're basically 1911 structure. There are some differences, like this one. It does have a trigger bow, but the trigger is actually pinned and it actually hinged, versus a standard 1911 where the trigger goes straight back. But it has all the other safety features. I think the other difference, as you can notice, this is a full-size 1911 5-inch barrel, and you can see it is quite a hair shorter than the Coonan. Some other differences: obviously, you need to have a larger ejection port for the longer cartridges, a wider magazine well, obviously for the magazines, and again for the larger cartridges. One of the other differences is most 1911s are going to have an internal extractor. There are some current day models that have the external extractor, but a lot of the originals are going to have the internal extractor. This does have a external extractor. Okay. And I think the Model A's, the barrel lockup was very similar to the standard 1911 with the linking. But I believe they changed that with the Model B. They changed it more of a different type of camming system for locking the barrel up. So I was very lucky to have a local customer, Bob. I really appreciate him for letting me do this project for him, basically making grips for him. It gives me a chance to design grips, because as you can see, here are standard 1911 grips. They are much smaller than the Coonan to accommodate the bigger well. Although the grip screws and grip bushings are standard 1911. Just the width of the grips are a lot larger. So what we've come up with is to be able to take the standard, these are the grips that came with it, is to be able to give some options. Since this firearm is no longer in production, not a lot of grip companies are going to be able to make grips for it. So we wanted to be able to customize, so to give you some checkering options, some options to put maybe your logo, your name, your initials, something like that, to really personalize your firearm, because these are a very special firearm if you want to personalize it. So we basically came up with some options with a smooth surface grip in all the different types of exotic woods that we carry. You know, and then different stains, like these are a bamboo that's stained in a emerald green, which I think goes very well with the stainless steel. Okay, pop these out. Or again with a a checkering options where you can have a good grip to it. but again, in various types of woods that we carry. Or if you want something like a classic double diamond type pattern, this is a Red Heart hardwood. And I think the Red Heart goes very well with the stainless steel as well. That looks really good. Okay. Or like with all of our grips that we make, we give you an option to do a snakeskin, which I think the Diamondback rattlesnake skin looks very well with a stainless steel pistol as well. So we just wanted to share this current project that we're just finishing up. Let you know we'll have all these different options available. And I've learned a couple little things about this fine pistol. And I appreciate you watching. If you want to stay in touch with some of the other projects that we do, or other things that we're going to release, please subscribe to our website, or to our YouTube channel, and look at our website. I thank you for watching, and bye for now.